Simple factorising. If you're asked to factorise the following expression, that means you put it back into brackets. This is just the opposite of expanding brackets. Now let's have a look at how we do that. So we have to think, what divides into 2x squared and 4x? Now we can see that 2 will divide into 2 and 2 will also divide into 4. However, we can also divide an x into 2x squared and also into plus 4x. Whenever you're factorising, often you will have numbers and letters, which are the factors. So 2x is the factor of both the 2x squared term and the 4x term. Once we've written the 2x down, we open a bracket. Then to fill in the bracket, we have to say to ourselves, what do we multiply by 2x to get 2x squared? So that would be x. Next we look at what we have to multiply by 2x to get 4x. And that would be plus 2. And then we close the bracket. Now what is great about factorising is that you can always check to see if your answer is correct. To do that, we can re-expand the bracket to check that we get the answer above. So let's just check that. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times plus 2 is 4x. Therefore, our answer is correct. Here's another one to try. So we can see that we can divide 12 by 4 and 4 by 4. We can also divide x squared into this term, and x squared will also go into this term. So altogether, our factor of the two terms, 12x squared and 4x cubed, is 4x squared. So let's open the bracket, and 4x squared times what gives me 12x squared? That will be 3. Then 4x squared times what will give me plus 4x cubed, and that will be plus x, and we close the bracket. Don't forget to check. So 4x squared times 3 is 12x squared. Yep. 4x squared times plus x is 4x cubed. So that's correct. We're done. I want to consider this question again and show you what is the most common mistake that people make with this question. So let's see what factors will divide into 12x squared and 4x cubed. So we have 2. 2 divides into both 12x squared and 4x cubed, and also x. Okay, open my bracket. So 2x times what gives me 12x squared? That will be 6x. And then 2x times by what gives me 4x cubed? That will be plus 2x squared. And I'm done. This, unfortunately, is not the right answer. This is because it has not been factorised fully. With all factorisation questions, you must always factorise fully. That means you find the biggest number that will divide into both these and the biggest number of x's. So as you can see above, it should have been 4x squared. In order to see if you factorised it fully, have a look at the terms inside the brackets. Are there any other numbers or x's that will divide into them? As you can see, there are. 2 could go into this, and x could also divide into both terms. Therefore, that is how we know it has not been factorised fully. Here's another one to try. And remember to factorise it fully. So the biggest number that will divide into the 12 and 6 is 6. And then we have x squared, we'll divide into both of them. So we have 6x squared. So 6x squared times by 2 gives me 12x squared. And 6x squared times minus x squared gives me minus 6x to the power of 4. Let's just check that. So 6x squared times 2 is 12x squared. 6x squared times minus x squared gives me minus 6x to the power of 4. So that's correct. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video and try these. How did you do? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then have another go.